do it as a log entry without a 337. No, this is the assemblers. These are the assemblers. I think so. But that's the assembly. Pardon?
What company are they?
That's Whalen Partners.
LEDs have some too, or?
No wiring has.
Right, totally different subject. Does the Aerostar have a shimmy damper?
It's a combination. Yes.
How many people think there's a shimmy damper? We have. How about if I tell you it does not have a shimmy damper? Shimmy damper has a piston that moves left and right when you steer with a pinhole in it, and the fluid passes through that pinhole, and because there's a restriction, that's what dampens it out. If you had that pinhole in the piston in the Aerostar, you couldn't steer, because when you would try to steer it, the fluid would just cross sides. So what they do is there's a circular path that connects the steering actuator to the shimmy damper, and the recirculating path is in the steering solenoid.
Don't shimmy, don't worry about
When I was talking yesterday about the Weeble shear pins, does anyone want the number so they carry a spare shear pin?
Which is a very good idea.
You should always, you've got a Weeble nose gear, that the one with a bolted collar on the bottom of the strap, you should carry a spare one of these shear pins in the back of the seat. If you want that number, it's a 450530-501. And you can get those from your shop or from Aerostar. Piddly little thing, you should keep them in the back of the seat. All mechanics have got wrenches. Mechanics don't have the shear pin though.
Sure. When I asked you about that question that Rick Zantoff was having, it's been on the forum, and you might want to tell him what you think it is.
So, Jimmy asked me a question this morning about an Aerostar that ended up with a total electrical failure and all three breakers tripping. The aux hydraulic pump is teed into the main line between the battery and the bus system. So if you get a short back there, it's like the black hole of Calcutta. All the voltage in the airplane follows that wire. It will go straight down there. Then you'll end up with a total electrical failure. So my vote for that is a problem where the system is connected to the aux hydraulic. And if there's a short before the current limiter back there, it's a ditch.
That's been all over the forum, everybody's had opinions about it, and nobody's come up with that.
Yeah, Alan?
Yes.
So what we talked about yesterday is a complete electrical failure and having the pitch control in the wrong position.
So you suddenly go into a climb, you're in a climb and you can't control it. And the thought was to talk to Christie and company about providing an emergency circuit to turn the power on just to the trim system, just to the trim system. One of the thoughts about that, Jim Huddins talked about if we did that and the trim motor was in the wrong position, then adding power to it would make the situation worse. What are your thoughts on that?
I think having the ability to operate the thing with no power is probably a good idea, and I think it's a good way around it. I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking yesterday, I don't see any reason there couldn't be an emergency override that operates that system just like ground clearance button,
Mm-hmm.
which when there's power on, the system's dead.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good idea. And Jim can come up with a result for that pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, it happened to us, and I would really encourage having that switch.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about wiring and shorts and things like
Yeah, talking about wiring and shorts and things like that, these airplanes are about 50 years old, some of them. And what do you know about the wiring in the airplane as far as chafing and essentially in various areas of the airplane, we should have our mechanic check to make sure that, that wiring is good.
The only thing that we see that's a problem is engine compartment, whether it's the heat and the vibration. And the mag wire short out. The mag wire short to the shielding on the lead, so you can't tell it's shorted out because it's internal, but then the engine doesn't want to start, or you end up with a dead mag. Or field wires on the alternators are always breaking. We don't see any other problems with wiring anywhere near them.
I found on a few air stars after like interior is done or something like that, on that right side where you have the armrest, that long panel. Let's say you can't hear me, Roger. On the right side, kind of back where the bench seat is, the wire bundle kind of comes up a little bit, and there's a metal trim piece that side panel slides into, or the side panel itself has got a sharp edge. And I've seen where, the interior shop or whatever would pull and mess around with that, and it actually starts chafing into a rather large wire bundle. That's where I've seen it. I've seen it through, avionics shops doing that, doing a whole avionics upgrade, and they shove everything through like a little hole through the bulkhead, and they don't properly seal it or put like an anti-chafe type material around it. And also in the nose compartment, there's a lot of ribs where, in that avionics shelf on the newer Air Stars, where, they'll run wires right over top of that lip, and they don't care about, any kind of anti-chafe or something like that. So it's always kind of seemed to be non-original problems to the airplane that would cause chafing and things like that. That's what I've seen anyway.
Another test question, where's the ELT antenna? How many people see it sticking out above the fuselage? Where is it?
It's in the fairing that covers to the dorsal, the dorsal thing.
Yeah, it's under the fairing in front of the fin. It's hidden. How about this one? When you fly through really heavy rain, why doesn't the water come inside? Why doesn't the water come in the fuselage and pour down and fill up later and come in the cabin? No one think about it when they're flying in heavy rain.
In a P model airplane, it's pressurized.
That's probably the last thing I'm thinking about.
Okay, so you're now not pressurized. Where's the water go? Yes, you guys haven't heard of umbrellas. No one ever thinks, where's the water go? And if you look at the ventral inlet, where we all put screens up to keep the. And if you look at the ventral inlet, where we all put screens up to keep the birds out, and you'll find along the water just pours in there.
Specifically water through the ventral.
Yeah. Well, there's two things. There's one, the designers were smart enough that way down in there where the heater air turns and goes down inside, there's a standpipe. You don't know that unless you get on the steps and shine a flashlight down to see why doesn't the water go down. And water that collects in that area, if you look on your